All right, good evening and welcome to the regular board meeting of the Webster Groves School District. If you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, before we dive into the regular agenda, it has been a week of ups and downs in the districts, I will say. We're here to have one celebration, but we started the week on a very somber note with the loss of a sophomore at the high school. So if you guys would join me just in a moment of silence for Kelsey McBride and her family and the community. You all. All right, has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? So I would entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Anybody opposed? All right, that carries 6-0. We did not receive any written public comments, and it looks like no one signed up for in-person public comments, so we will move past both of those agenda items and go on to board policies for first read.
Yeah, you have in your board packet, you've seen the policies that the committee reviewed and are on for a first read. If you have any questions, you could reach out to any of the administrators on that committee, as well as Alan and Keita and Joe are the board representatives once again this year. If there are no questions or no concerns noted between now and the next meeting, they will be on the consent for approval.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is board calendar. I don't think there's any change. Okay, so take a look, but no change in the board calendar moving forward. And now we'll move on to celebrations from student advisors, and she is not here.
She's coming from a tennis match. Try to get here as soon as she can.
All right. Yeah, we'll maybe circle back to her if she gets here in time, but we'll start with celebrations from the board then. Anybody would like to start? Go ahead.
I believe that it is janitor's appreciation or custodian appreciation day, week, and I'm just always so thankful living across from a school, watching the folks walk in and sometimes in the middle of the night walk in and out with trash and keeping our spaces safe and clean. So just kudos to them. I'll look at Sandy and say, please pass along our thanks.
Tara.
So I know we have a lot of celebrations to cover tonight, so I just wanted to say quickly, as a liaison to two of our schools in our district, I try to go to the first PTO meeting of the year at both of the schools I'm a liaison to. Unfortunately, I missed Bristol's because we had a board meeting that night. But I did get to go to the Parents Club meeting. So and this was my first Parents Club meeting as a freshman parent, and I just wanted to thank everyone involved in that club. It is massive and so well organized, and there are just lots and lots and lots of parent volunteers that do wonderful things to make our kids' experience at high school so much better. So I just wanted to thank everyone involved in that.
I don't know. I was actually trying to figure out if we've had a celebration for a while, so I don't know if we have, so I'm just going to throw out Alumni Stadium. It's fantastic. The track is it's open in the morning, so I am, if you ever want to hang out with Alex Kahn, you just get to that track early, and I'll be running around it. It's amazing, and it feels so good to run on compared to the old track. It's just like so springy. And then the other thing is we've been in school for about a month now. And so just big shout out to the PTOs that are like full fire, full effect. There's a lot going on at Edgar, and I'm sure at all the schools. So all the parents, teachers. It's been a really smooth year, knock on wood, up to this point. So that's just a lot of shout outs to everyone that makes that possible.
Right, and I would echo pretty much everything that's been said, just to build on what Alex said as we've started the year. Not only has it had a good start to the year, but also we've seen like some of our after-school clubs and things get started as well. Excited to see those back. My son's in nature club and chess club and all the clubs, and my daughter's doing book battle at Hickson and the wind ensemble and all those sorts of things. So it's really nice to see those extracurricular activities kick back up and get started again as well. I'm always thankful for the opportunity that our children have, even outside of school, to participate in some of those activities. And just the final thing I'll say, definitely not a celebration, but relating it back to our moment of silence, I know it's been a rough week for the staff at the high school, the counselors, the staff, the teachers. So I just want to say thank you to them for putting in the extra time and effort and care that it takes to help our students through this time, because I know it's not been an easy week and it's not going to be an easy month or semester or probably year. So thank you all for the extra effort there as well. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Simpson and Derek for celebrations from administrators.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So a couple things I want to mention first before we get to our guests here today. There are two celebrations I want to make sure everyone's aware of. The district is partnering with not only current counselors but also some outside groups. We're hosting a series we're calling it Rooted, a family learning series, and it's kind of a speaker series or a learning series that we're pushing the start of this year around various topics that are important and relevant to families. So our first topic is on October 30th, and it's all about supporting young minds addressing mental health in children. So we have a couple of our school counselors throughout all grades, and then we're partnering with some outside organizations to bring in some speakers, and there'll be a couple different sessions that people can choose from. That'll be at the Frick Theater on October 30th at 5:30, and we'll share a lot more of that in the coming days and the coming weeks. Next, I wanted to share a highlight. We started the Freedom Schools this week in partnership with Peace United Church of Christ as part of our plan to provide expanded extracurricular activities for all students across the district.
I have a hard enough time seeing what I read without anything reflecting the light. Like, I'm probably going to keep these off. I always love this part of the agenda because we get to see where all the work, where all the rubber meets the road, all the achievements that the kids have and the programs come to life. So that's awesome. Feel free to leave. Obviously, you do not need to be here for the rest of the agenda. You're welcome to stay. We're happy to have you, but you do not have to. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, so back to the agenda. Next on the agenda is our superintendent search update. Would just like to remind, obviously, board, you all know this, but just for those watching online, like to remind the community that we do have a survey that's out there. You can find it, the district has sent it out to families and staff and all those groups that we have contact with, but it's also on our social media channels and those sorts of places. So please, if you haven't yet, take that survey. We have gotten over 450 responses already, which is a good start, but we'd love to get more and more and more, as many people that are willing. We would love to get your input on the search process. There will be one other opportunity for public comment. We will have focus groups as well later in October, so those will be coming up as well, where we will gather input from some of our key stakeholders as well. So I'm not sure if anyone else wants to say anything about the process and sort of where we are, or add anything. Nope. All right. Hearing none, we will move along to reports from the superintendent and the staff and our setting the tax rate. Mr. Myers again.
So as we discussed at the tax rate hearing, this is the step in the process where the Board of Education can approve the tax rate.
This is a good time. I was just gonna chime in that the tax rate hearing that Mr. Myers is referring to is on board docs if you want to preview or look at the presentation or anything for the meeting tonight, September 26th. That's it.
Any other questions for Mr. Myers? If not, I'd entertain a motion. It is a rather long one.
I move that the 2024 operating levy be set at a maximum blended rate of $3.7398, which will be distributed per fund as follows: incidental fund $1.8458, teachers fund $1.7985, capital projects fund $0.0955. The 2023 debt service levy be set at $0.5699 for a total blended maximum operating rate plus the debt service rate of $4.3097. The current year rate will be set by category as follows: residential $3.4113, agricultural 0, commercial $4.2224, personal property $5.4389, plus the debt service rate of $0.5699, which is added to each category.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
Quick second before we go. Jacob, will you just on the recommended action for and how Alex read it, it says 2023 debt service levy.
I noticed that too. I wasn't sure if that should. All right. That's what I caught that, and I should have said something. Oh, well, I didn't. Do I need to repeat that part then, maybe? I'm happy to.
First, so if there's not a second,
I think we did have a second. She did second it, yeah. So we're at the point where we would offer discussion. So what I would suggest is someone offer a motion to amend the year from 2023 to 2024. Then we'll vote on the amendment, and then we will vote on the overall motion.
Amend that motion, that it is in fact the 2024 debt service levy be set at $0.5699.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, so now it would be a motion, I'd entertain a motion to approve as amended.
Make a motion to approve the recommended action as amended.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, that carries 6-0. Next on the agenda, we have Zach with an Infinite Campus update.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Zach Listinsky, the Director of Technology for the district. Tonight I wanted to provide an update on one of our strategic plan goals, which is the implementation of our new student information system, Infinite Campus.
It's just out of curiosity. I know you said that the digital hall passes were a possible add-on. Do you know how that would work if it were added on?
I just want to say thank you to you and your team for everything as a parent. I think the transition has been wonderful. I think the system is so much more robust, again, from a parent user perspective. It's great. I do have a question about how, I think there's a page on the website where people can go for FAQs or to get support. Do you know how people can easily find that? Like, is there a search term or is it in a quick?
The easiest way is if you go to the homepage, there's a little flyout button on the right that says Infinite Campus.
Okay.
If you click that, it should take you right to the landing page for it, and then you can kind of branch out from there.
Okay, good. Thank you. I know there were a lot of questions at the beginning and I was trying to figure out where to point people to. So thank you.
So one of the things, thank you as well, and your team. One of the things you'd mentioned were some of the smaller documents that maybe didn't come over during the migration. What is the, and maybe it's a two-part question, what is the timeline for getting those things on board, and then maybe just in general, how much time do you kind of assume that the migration is going to take in general?
So yeah, that's a great.
My question was similar to Alex's, but I think what I would sort of as a follow-up, first of all, thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for the time to actually sort through and not just upload things because it was in the old one for a cost savings perspective and a data. I very much appreciate that. But when you said you still have access to the old system, does that mean Tyler, or does that mean, okay, how long will you have? Because I know it doesn't exist as a public system anymore.
But since it is something that we host in district, like we have that sitting on a server here, we pretty much have perpetual access to it.
Okay.
To all of our data. So there will never be anything that comes up where it's like, oh, I wish we still had that.
It's like
because we still have that'll be retained.
It's a big old backup sitting on a server.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Klostinski? Did I say that right?
That's perfect.
I wouldn't have done that.
I had a comment at WashU right now. We are moving from SIS to Workday for students, and just the amount of thought and conversations that are going into that, the trainings, the teachings, the learnings, the just kudos to you, and I'm glad you have a system that knew your old system that made that a helpful process. Thank you.
So much, and moving on to the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda items 5.02, 5.03, 5.04, 5.05, 5.06, 5.07, 5.08, and 5.09.
All in favor say aye. Anybody opposed? All right, that carries 6-0. We have come to the end of our agenda, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.